Anybody have any questions? Oh, thank you. Okay, thank you. Questions, anyone? Okay. You've got all the answers. I love it. Yeah. I couldn't tell if that was a question or not. Is that? I'm not sure if that's all.
Do I understand correctly that Moses actually divvied out some of the land before?
Apparently he did. Yes.
Do we know a reference on that, or do I need to go searching through
I
Genesis?
can get it for you. I have it in my notes, but was it
did?
not on your handout?
I remember as I was reading through, and it would say Joshua would be talking, and he would say, as Moses said, and I thought, what?
Yeah.
When did Moses say you could have this piece and that piece? So.
Okay, I will look that up. You can't make these things up, as they say. So... Hold on.
And I said, okay, we'll do it. Because they like to be on the west side for whatever reason. Just those, I think it was Reuben, the tribe of Reuben, and Manasseh. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Manasseh. Yeah, those were the only two that took it on the west side. But that didn't clear them of not helping their brothers. Oh, sorry. Oh.
Okay. Yes. Yes, Kristen.
As you were talking, it made me think about a butterfly coming to life.
Mm-hmm.
And that if you help the butterfly out of its cocoon, then it's maimed, it's weak, it can't flourish.
Oh.
And so it made me think of the tribes that unless they had to put forth effort in taking the land, then they would not know God's faithfulness. If he just handed it over to them on a silver platter and fought for them, maybe that's somewhat like the life of a. As you trust the Lord and grow, you have to go through some struggles.
I love it. Yeah.
And God shows his faithfulness through that, just like a little analogy with the butterfly.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. And the same that I was trying to draw with the baby and its milk. I've got two, don't I? Help. 3. What? I don't know. That you could pour baby milk in a baby's mouth, but it really clings to its mother, and you can't force not only the affection but the allegiance and the dependency on God through helping. You know, we're not helped if we're spoon-fed. Let me slip through here.
We're still in the flesh, and we just don't get it that fast sometimes. So we have a little learning curve that we have to go through.
Okay, starting with, she said that she called it a learning curve. Say it again.
Learning curve. We're not that fast. It's a learning curve. We have to stretch our muscles and flap our wings like the butterfly does. It takes time.
Okay, Micah.
I couldn't hear, so maybe this was already said, but I think what you're saying, and I had not known this before, but on Annette's handout on page 28, it says in Exodus that God says, I will not drive them out. from you in 1 year, or the land would become desolate and the wild animals would multiply against you. I mean, it's not like he could just go clear it out and then they'd say, oh, well, next year we're going in, because it'd be taken over just like with weeds and thorns. And then it says, little by little I will drive them out before you until you have increased and possessed the land. So I think same thing like the learning curve, but they also, it would give them time to really.
Yeah, it was a strategy. I mean, the point was about the timing. We want it done in our own timing and in our own way, and sometimes that's just not going to work. And how many times have you gotten past the point where you've been so frustrated with the timing or the outcome only to find out how perfect it was? I've done that a lot of times. It's like, I thought I had the perfect answer to all the situation, and had it gone my way, it would have completely messed it up. So, Linda.
This is just a little. First of all, I just want to say thank you, Annette, and a personal testimony that I'm in a place in my life where I feel like God is using this study to me to move forward and claim what He has promised.
Oh.
So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. You all, this is my precious sister-in-law, Linda Haddon. And had it not been for Linda giving me, this is not part of the study, but she gave me the book Christy right about that time. It may have been in 1973 or 4. It probably was, now that I think about it. The book Christy, and, I had I've said rebel spirit. I didn't have a rebel spirit. I had a wounded spirit. And that book, gosh, if it had been some kind of Christian pounding and do this and do that and fill in this blank, I would have totally rejected it. But it had a way of just leveling my spirit to the point that I could hear God for the first time. So that book, I was a Christian since I was 13, 14, 15, 16, every time that I accepted Christ, but I still didn't get it. That book really brought me back to the Lord in a very sweet and gentle way. So that's Linda. I can turn this off.
I read Marion, my husband would love to have heard that. I had the same experience with the book of Christy. I did. And that was a time when we lost a full-term baby in childbirth. And the gal who really led me to the Lord gave me that book, and it meant so much to me. And her words to me, and her final words whenever she retired as a teaching leader to us was, trust and obey. And that's what Joshua did. And Caleb, they trusted and obeyed God. That's what you did when you applied Scripture, losing your babies. And you trusted God and you obeyed Him. You trusted Him for your future. I'm trusting you that you're in control. And you've got a plan for me.
If I hadn't had Scripture, as I said, it was just the pathway through life. So I hope, I'm looking at these faces, all these mature Christian, learned theologians, everything. But sometimes you think, like how to do something, and it's helpful just to know the steps on how to read the Bible. So I hope that was helpful. If not, pass it on to somebody else, because I heard a minister one time say people don't know how to be forgiven they don't know how to read the Bible. Can't remember what the other, but 4 things. You just assume people know how to be forgiven, and sometimes that's not the case. So if there's somebody in this room that could benefit from that, if just one, that would be great. So thank you all. It's 5 after 11. I'm kind of a fanatic on time, but if you need to leave.
I was thinking about something that applies to the suffering that we've been talking about. Dr. J. Vernon McGee had a wonderful answer to that when someone says, why did this have to happen? I don't know why, but I know who knows why. That's another really good answer to give, too. We are so glad you're all here, whether it's your first time here or whether you've been here every time, but I hope all of you will feel welcome to come next week to our luncheon after the last study. And Linda, would you raise your hand? She will take your name and a picture if you have it. We're going to have fun with that. A childhood picture. Don't give a grown-up picture. Give a childhood picture. And $8, and we'll have a good time next week. Anything else?